Hi everybody. I am making this video today to acknowledge the passing of Jerald Forster and to celebrate his gift to humanity during his lifetime. I hope that I will be able to convey some of his practical wisdom, his lifelong service, and his modeling of gratitude as I speak with you. If you've come to this YouTube channel recently, you might associate me, Jennifer Rose, with the Positive Identity Project, with articulating strengths, and with talking about positive moments and good experiences. But these did not start with me. They started with Jerald. Jerald was the most positive person I have ever met. He was deeply and truly positive and optimistic all the time, right up to the last moment of his life on May 18th of this year, 2026. He was a professor of psychology at the University of Washington in counseling psychology. And there are people who have said, Jerald Forster gave me my life in that role. He was always interested in finding the best in the people he met, in his students and beyond. And he was always interested in lining up people's best qualities with the best opportunities for expressing them, sharing them, and having those strengths become the center of their lives. So he did that throughout his career at the University of Washington, and he did it with his family. For example, we had introduced by Jerald a birthday tradition in our home of everyone gathering in a circle to share appreciations of the birthday person. And when the circle closed around to the birthday person, they were to share an appreciation of themselves. He did all kinds of extracurricular positivity. He did it at his church, where he started appreciating elderhood. He did it in his neighborhood, where he started men's groups, and he did it, as I said already, in his home. But he also started offering salons. He inherited that from someone else. But in every one of these instances, he never missed an opportunity to introduce the topic of positive moments, good experiences, and strengths. He, in fact, carried this vision deeper, as we can see in one of the very last things he wrote down in 2024. He recorded a dream which he described as an experience of wild positivity. He described a scene where people in an open space and in a palatial space met together in great joy, hugging and sharing their appreciations of each other, and recognizing the dawn of a new era. That's what Jerald really wanted. He wanted to be part of humanity going, "Doh! Why have I been negative when I could have been positive?" He wanted to see that on a broad, grand scale. Jerald and I shared a passion for looking at what makes any person who they are. What is identity? Who am I, famously? And we shared a passion for elevating human experience. And because he was naturally positive and I am not, we made a good team. We recognized in each other's work, my yoga, philosophy, and meditation and writing, and his positive psychology, a deep connection. And we spent the last years of his life exploring and deepening that connection. And this became really productive work as he wrote Articulating Strengths Together, and I edited that. That was the beginning. And we co-wrote Articulating Your Strengths and my Positive Identity Journal. We also co-created a website, and it was amazing to see that in a positive environment, that we came together every meeting that we came together, we talked about positive moments first before we started working. So we were always working in a positive emotional space, and it was absolutely illuminating to see what we could produce with that kind of mood between us in about, 5 hours a week. That's what we did. And we made presentations and shared the work with other people through a video course that's on our website, Positive Identity Project, if you Google that. This work with Jerald changed me. Working with him made me more confident, more resilient, and more able to manage my moods and elevate myself out of a funk. So I'm really grateful for that. Throughout the last half of our work, it became more and more evident that Jerald was experiencing challenges that would later come to be named dementia. But it wasn't only his dementia that made it hard to work at the end. We also had difficulty defining our audience and doing marketing. We spent time sending books to people that we hoped we would click with. And part of that difficulty was because of the breadth of Jerald's vision, like the dream that I mentioned, that he wanted to usher in a new era. And how to really bring that about was something neither one of us knew how to do. So after our work ended, we spent more time recording his memories of his youth in South Dakota, and we spent time socializing with family. And he remained a positive influence on me. But it was still quite a sizable loss. Losing our work together was heartbreaking. And although he had always asked me to continue the work after he was gone, I really didn't know if I could, because part of me really experienced it as his work. And part of me was just too sad over not doing the work together. It really hadn't ever not been our project. And so when that stopped, I stopped working on it for quite a while. But what I noticed is that Jerald's vision wants to go forward. I might not live to see a new era of wild positivity, but the possibility of it that he carried wants to live on in someone's heart. We all need someone to be holding this vision of what's possible for humanity. We need someone to say, we all have positive moments, we all have good experiences, and when we lean into the strengths that make those moments and experiences possible, the world is a better place. Children need it. Adults need it. People whose identities have been shaped too much by criticism need it. People who are trying to remember what their joy is need it. And people who are trying to remember who they really are really need it. We need steady practices that ask us what really lights us up, what goodness in us made it possible, and how can we bring our goodness into the world. We need to open up conversations about who we really are with the people we care about the most, because the risk of our dying without anyone knowing who we are, including ourselves, is a very real risk. So I am carrying on with creating tools that help children articulate their strengths, and with creating workshops that help people share positive moments, with opportunities for people to build strengths-focused relationships, places where they can feel safe and nurtured because it's positive. It's really remarkably refreshing to be with another person in a context that is non-competitive and not critical and just gently kind. I am continuing to learn from Jerald, from my memories of him, and from the materials that he left behind, from the recordings that are on our website, from his strengths articulation that's also on our website. And I want to wrap up this video with a heartfelt thank you to Jerald Forster. Jerald, thank you for trusting me with your work, with your vision. Thank you for being a model of perseverance in positivity, even when negativity was all around. Thank you for being a role model of service and having the well-being of humanity always at the core of your mission. I will miss you, but you're with me, and I'm going forward. So if anyone who's watching this video would like to learn more about the Positive Identity Project, please see the link below. Like and share the video. I hope I'll see you soon.